What's up, poker people YouTube? Welcome back to the Voting Vlogs. We're here at TCH Houston, Westheimer. Let's get straight to the session. See you guys inside. So, as usual, 1-3 no limit hold'em, match a stack. Buying into this one for $1,000. Don't have to buy in deep. Not everyone's super deep, so as long as we cover the table and can maximize our profits, that's all we want. In this first one, we look down at 8-7 offsuit in the big blind. Under the gun limps, low jack makes it $20. The cutoff calls. We're going to complete in the big blind, and under one completes as well. 4 players to flop now, which comes Jack, 3, deuce, 2 clubs, and a diamond. And it checks through. We obviously have no equity on this board, so there's no reason for us to do anything differently. Turns to 7 of diamonds. We turn a pair now. We go ahead and check it. Under the gun bets $35. The low jack calls, the cutoff folds, and I hit a pair now. I would hope that a clubs or jack would bet on the flop, so I think our 7 might be good here a lot of time, even though it is multi-way, so we make the call. Rivers 10 of diamonds, we check here. Under the gun bets $50 into 186. The low jack folds. And before I can even fold, the under the gun tells low jack good fold, 2 pairs. So I obviously make the fold, and the under the gun says that he had jack 7. So saves us $50 there with that super small sizing. Next hand, we look down at 8-7 of hearts in the small blind. The under the gun straddle is on. The hijack limps for $6. We go ahead and make it $30 with our suited ace, and only the big blind calls, so even the limper gets out of the way. Heads to flop, which comes 10, 3, 4, 2 clubs and a heart. We do have backdoor hearts, but this isn't really a good board for our range. We would have something like ace 10, king 10, but we really need to have those hands to barrel here, or even better equity. So we're just going to check this one. Big blind bets $50, then it's an easy fold for us. Big blind actually said he has pocket jack, so yeah, definitely save some money there.
The documentary about that.
Looking down at king 10 offsuit in the small blind, the undergun straddle is on. The +1, hijack, and cutoff all limp to 6. Like I said from the previous vlog last week, a lot of people just like limping in Texas. We go ahead and make it $50 and everyone folds, so that's a nice plus $27 coming our way. Like I said, you can always just steal a lot of dead money. Marginal hands, don't do it too often, but definitely take advantage when you can when all these players are limping way too often, way too frequently, and you just get a lot of free $20, $30 here and there, which obviously adds up to a few hundred in the long run. And then right along, we look down at pocket deuces in the cutoff. Under the gun limps, we make it $15. Small blind, big blind, under the gun, all call. So surprisingly, 4 players still flop now, which comes queen, 6, 5, 2 clubs and a spade. Small blind, big blind, check. Under the gun now, donk leads for $50 with his hands already excited to bet when he saw the flop. So it's an easy fold for us. We're just looking to draw the 2 outs at this point. So very easy fold, and the other players fold as well. Looking down at another beautiful hand, it's ace-9 of hearts in the small blind. The under the gun straddle is on. The button limps to 6, very standard. We go ahead and make it $30. Small blind, big blind, button, all call. 4 players to flop now, which comes 7, 6, 5, rainbow. We don't have backdoor hearts, but we do have a gutter ball to the 8, so we're going to go ahead and c-bet this. Probably shouldn't be c-betting it, given that it's multi-way 4 players on a board that doesn't really connect with us, but we're going to go ahead and go for $50, trying to take it down here. Hopefully we hit an 8. The big blind now calls, and the under the gun makes it $175. And what's even more surprising is the button now jams for $350. This is an easy fold for us. The big blind folds as well. Under the gun calls. They end up going twice. The button has a set of 6s, and the under the gun was semi-bluffing with queen 9 of diamonds. So he ends up getting a gut shot on the second run out, so they end up chopping it. But yeah, there's the kind of action you're going to see in 1-3 in TCH in Texas, in Houston. So you just print a lot of the times. You don't have to be the best player. I'm not the best player, but you can just make a lot of money in these lower stakes games because people just get way too out of line and overvalue their hands way too often. Like I said, this is going to be a very action-packed game. We had looked down at ace-jack offsuit on the button straddle here. Big blind, low jack, hijack, all limp to 6. We're going to go ahead and make it $40. This is very standard. It's just too many people limping, trying to isolate more often. The big blind jams for $78. Low jack folds, hijack folds, and obviously this is an easy call for $38 from us. We end up catching a jack on a king high board, and our ace jack is good. So not sure what he had there, but we're just going to take this one down. So like I said, action packed in 1-3 Texas with one hand of Omaha. This is an Omaha hand. I believe we flopped a open-ended straight draw with a flush draw, not flush draw, of course, ace deuce of spades, and we ended up potting it with a bunch of fold equity. with a bunch of money in the middle. So we end up taking this one down because the opponents end up folding. So it's a nice little like $400, $500 profit off of this hand. And we end up adding on $500 before this because a guy that had semi-bluffed into the 3 people with that gut shot backdoor diamonds with a queen 9 of diamonds has a bit more money from winning when someone else tries to bluff him $60 into a $300 pot. So we're trying to maximize our value in the spots that we can, adding on and matching the people that we believe we can get money from. So after that PLO hand, we look down at ace 8 of hearts and the +1. We opened for $15. The +2, low jack, hijack, cutoff, and big blind all call. So 6 players now to a flop which comes 9, 7, 6, 2 spades and a heart. We have backdoor nut flush draw as well as open ended right now, so it's not the worst board for us in multi-way. Checks the hijack who bets $25. Cutoff calls, big blind calls, and completing action. We're just going to go ahead and make the call and everyone else folds. So 4 players to the turn now, which is the jack of hearts. We have the nut flush draw as well as that open ended still now. It checks to the cutoff who jams for $60. The big blind folds, and I'm obviously going to make the call here. Obviously, it sucks that we do turn equity, that we're going to have to call off this super small jam, but obviously, very standard. Hijack folds. The river's 6 of diamonds, so we just break out completely, and the cutoff has jack 10 offsuit. So, yeah, about as good as we could have gotten in. Heart draw, open-ended, as well as having the over with the ace, but lose that one, and we will move on. So I do wish I had more hold'em hands for you guys here, but this is just an example of all the action you get here at TCH Houston. And I usually don't include PLO hands, as you've seen in previous vlogs where my profit losses are kind of weird because I don't include PLO hands. I could lose or win a lot. But here I'm just including it because I want to show you the action. We have aces, 7s, single suited to diamonds. In the small blind, under the gun opens to $20. There's 2 callers. I obviously pot this hand to 110, trying to isolate, and only the under the gun calls. Flop is jack, 7-5, 2 spades and club. So we hit the set of 7s and only lose the jacks, and we just want to try to get the money in here if he has spade draw. So we go ahead and pot it. Under the gun jams for $500. It's about 200 more than what we potted it for. I obviously snap call with the set. He has kings and 9s, no spade draw. So he's really only drawing to a king or a 9, and we obviously run it twice because I just don't like the variance. He ends up catching a 9 on the second run out, so we chopped this, but I just wanted to include it as an example of how much action you're going to get. The guy's drawing to basically just 4 outs here. And yeah, just kind of crazy. In this next hand, we look down at ace jack of spades under the gun. We open for $15, the +1 and cutoff call. Everyone else folds. Flop is queen, 7-6, 2 spades and a diamond. So we flopped a nut flush draw. We c-bet here, of course, for $20. The +1 calls and the cutoff folds. Turn is the bink, 8 of spades. We have the nuts now. We go for $50, sizing up, and the +1 calls once again. River 7 of diamonds pairing the board. We can't be afraid of monsters under the bed, so we're just going to go big here. We go for a sizing of $150, and the +1 calls pretty quickly, and he has 10-9 offsuit. When he doesn't raise, obviously, we're going to feel a lot better that we have the best hand. So pretty good session overall, and here's some chip porn before we call it a wrap. Not much to say in this vlog. I wish there were more hold'em hands and not PLO, but I made a majority of my profit in PLO. I turned a flush on one, and then I also got max value with another flush on another where the guy was value betting like an 8 high flush and I had a jack high flush. But that's PLO, where sometimes here at TCH Houston the games are going to be really soft, and in these hold'em games the people don't know how to fully maximize their value in PLO. So you're never going to lose the maximum, and you're always going to be able to print the maximum in PLO as long as you know how to play. So there were a few hold'em hands, so I'm glad there was that for you guys for the vlog. But other than that, in the game for 1,500, out of the game for 2,771. That's a profit of 1,271. So good session all in all. Obviously, yeah, not much to say. Just PLO is so soft in Houston. I think in the majority of places as well, because it's really weird. Like, people that play hold'em, their brains just turn off and they just don't know how to play when they get 2 extra cards, which is super interesting. Yeah, PLO, profitable game. Yeah, if you made it this far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And it means a lot to me and the vlog. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.